Hi, I'm Wei Min Tan, Manhattan, New York property agent, and I represent investors from all over the world who are interested in investing in Manhattan, New York residential condominiums. This presentation is about property investment in New York, the highlights. The first slide here are examples of our clients' apartments. The one on the left here is actually a 500 square foot terrace of our client's apartment, which he bought during the great financial crisis and sold a few years later for a great profit. The one in the middle is an apartment in Tribeca that was bought turnkey, which means that we closed on it, we didn't have to do anything, and we just rented it out right away. No renovations needed. And the one on the right here is an ultra luxury Soho loft. This is at 40 Mercer Street, and my client, also from overseas, I remember we were looking at apartments during a cold winter night, and we looked at this on a winter night. It was dark, it was cold, but the apartment is amazing. The ceilings are really high and it's really ultra luxury prices as well as ultra luxury rent rate. Let's move on to the first slide, property investment in New York. Why New York? Why do foreigners invest in New York? It's because it's a means of diversification. There's global uncertainty, there's overvaluation of the stock market, there's fluctuations in currencies. So our clients typically have successful businesses in their home countries, and they have properties in their home country and region, and when they come to New York, it's as a means of diversifying their asset portfolio. And one competitor of New York is London. Usually New York and London are the top two cities that high net worth global investors look for in terms of diversifying. New York is ranked the #1 global city globally, and the #1 spot is usually again between New York and London, and this is ranked by Knight Frank through a wealth report. They publish the wealth report every year, and it's about the top cities in the world. And the #1 ranking is based on wealth, the concentration of wealth, the ability to attract investments, and lifestyle. Lifestyle refers to quality of life, restaurants, and so forth. So most recently New York is ranked #1, sometimes it's #2, then it goes back to #1. New York and London are always 1 and 2, fighting for 1 and 2. New York is now the US East Coast's Silicon Valley. We are no longer reliant on the financial industry. Right now, the biggest corporate tenant in Manhattan is actually Facebook. And Google has expanded to a second campus in downtown in Hudson Square. And New York is actually a hub in the East Coast for high-tech companies. Amazon has a big presence here. So we are right now also a tech hub in addition to a financial center. Property investment in New York. Okay, what are the property prices in New York? The ranges are generally, they start at a studio. A studio ranges from roughly $650,000 to $800,000. Don't buy anything that's above $800,000. If it's a studio, then you would be overpaying. For a 1-bedroom, it starts at roughly $800,000 to about $2 million. For a 2-bedroom, it's roughly 1.8 to around 4.5, and a 3-bedroom starts at around 3.5, and it goes all the way up. Anything that's a 4-bedroom would be considered a mansion by New York standards. So it's not the best size if you were to buy and rent out, because the demand will be lower. Usually buying to rent out, it's either a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, well, as well as a studio as well. So it goes up from a studio to a 3-bedroom. COVID-19, the historical trend for Manhattan prices is that it goes up unless there's a recession, then it comes down for about 2 years, and then it goes up again for about 6 or 7 years. And from the prior peak was in 2017, when it went up from 2011 to 2017, and then from 2017 to 2019 the market was soft, and COVID hit in 2020. The bottom of the COVID market was in July of 2020 and starting 2021, right now the market is actually very hot. The market is recovering right now. Why? Because the interest rates are at historical lows. Right now the 30-year fixed mortgage is around 2.9%. For context, back in 1982 it was 16%. So right now we are at historically low mortgage rates. Mortgage rates, number one. Number two is the pent-up demand from 2020. The buyers who were supposed to buy then didn't buy, so everyone is moving to buy this year. And there's the recovery. As of right now, 70% of New Yorkers have been vaccinated. The economy has reopened, and by September most companies are going to require employees back at work. So the rental market has recovered tremendously because the tenants who moved out of Manhattan, they are all moving back right now. So our landlord clients' rental listings, the tenants are not even negotiating on the price right now, versus about 6 months ago everyone was asking for 2 months free. What are the downsides? The downsides are there's a lot more processes involved in terms of buying and renting. There's a lot more paperwork, there's a lot more approvals, and so forth. That's number one, the administrative stuff. And number two is prices are higher. So relative to the other parts of the US, of course, the entry point is higher. So you would pay more for something that's smaller. For example, the US average single family house is about 250,000. Here the average condo price is roughly about 2.5 million. The median condo price is probably around 1.6 thereabouts. But the point is that to buy one apartment here, you can buy 5 houses in a Midwest city in the US. But of course then the appreciation potential is different, the stability is different. Manhattan would be a lot more stable in terms of prices because the supply is a lot more limited. It's not like in a typical US city where the developer keeps building further and further out from the city core. Here only 10% are Manhattan condos. So those are the those are key points. The downside of that last point being that the prices are high. And this is a brief bio of myself. I focus on Manhattan condos. I am an ex-city banker, manage a $500 million business. Went for business school at Illinois. I live in Tribeca, and I'm a fitness nut. Thank you for watching.